Welcome to the first ever grand final of the Star Sailors League, where an incredible lineup of 18 renowned teams from 13 nations are set to face 9 races in the 3 days of qualifiers, with the top 10 teams then advancing to the knockout finals on Saturday. The beautiful island of the Bahamas and the Nassau Yacht Club were the perfect location to host the ultimate event of the Star Sailors League finals. Racing at a series of events throughout the year have lined up the ranking leaderboard teams who are invited to compete here at the finals, along with invites to a few well-known wildcard entries who have excelled in the laser and fin classes to shake up the competition in this unique event.
I think the ones that will win here are the ones that are able to, in this really short period that we're here, put all the components together and make it a mosaic that works out very, very good.
It's a new thing for the Star class, sort of a short and sharp event with prize money on top of it. For sure excited to be sailing against all the hot rock stars again and see how it all fights out.
I think they picked the perfect place, at this time of the year, December. Everybody's freezing and we're here in this paradise. I think it's going to be great.
3 days of qualification races would decide the top 10 teams making the cut and advancing to the knockout finals on day 4, where the competition would start again as the scoreboard was wiped clean. For the sailors, which included numerous Olympic, World and European medalists, the inaugural Star Sailors League finals was the first time they had competed in such a special event, an impressive fleet merging the more senior statesmen and former champions in the Star racing against the present-day heroes. The elite of sailors are here in the Bahamas, counting numerous world and Olympic champions, including 12 Olympic medalists and legends of the sailing world. The first day proved this was no ordinary event as the 18 teams got ready and lined up for racing. A great start from the Italians Negri and Lambertenghi, who opened the day with 2 race wins. Olympian Negri competed at the 2008 Olympics and was thriving back in the action amongst the world's best sailors, delivering a very consistent performance. He chose the left side of the track and sailed clear from the rest of the pack, easily scoring his first 2 bullets, following up with a solid performance in the next 2 races to score a 6th and 9th. The Brazilian superstars Said and Prada, who are back together in the Star class after their bronze medal at the 2012 Olympics, have both opted for new Olympic campaigns, in the laser for Said and the fin for Prada. But they haven't forgotten the secrets of their success in the Star class, as the 2011 and 2012 world champions put in an aspiring performance to claim top 4 finishes across the day's races and claim the overall leaderboard on day 1. Fresh from his 12th World Championship title in the laser class, Said is in the winning groove and is right up there amongst the favourites to win the Star Sailors League trophy.
So I'm pretty happy with that, 4 races in the top 5, and we're very tired. It's been a long day, 4 races out there, but happy with how things went. I think we are improving hour by hour in the boat.
An impressive performance was also on from 2012 Olympians Mendelblatt and Fati, who battled it out with the Polish Olympians Kuźnierowicz and Zitsky, and the Norwegian Olympian Melleby, who is racing USA crew Strube. All 3 had solid races in the top 5, and the points margin is extremely close, with just 5 points separating these 3 teams. A great example of how close racing was took place at the finish of race 4, where 7 boats crossed the line with less than 5 seconds between them. Small details matter and will ultimately define the winner in the end. 4 back-to-back races on day 1 underline the depth of talent in the fleet, with different teams dominating off the line and 3 different winners of the day. The 18 teams were a showcase of some of the best athletes in the world, with each team more than capable of winning the overall title. Great to see renowned helms such as Paul Kayard and Robert Said tussling with each other off the start line in race 1, or the 5-boat photo finish in race 4. With only a 35-point separation, there was plenty of room for leaderboard shuffles. Going into the second day of qualifications, Scheid continued his commanding form with crew Bruno Prada heading up the fleet and starting to secure a margin over the rest. Fascinating racing as star-class newcomers, but World Championship medalists in their own right, such as Finn sailor Peter Jan Posma from the Netherlands and laser sailor Andy Maloney from New Zealand, were ahead of the star-class champions on the track. Francis Rojas and Ponson, Olympians and former star-class world champions, put in a top performance in race 6 to claim the win and jump up the leaderboard to 5th. The pair showed far more confidence round the track today as they find their rhythm after over a year out of the boat together. Germany's Olympians and 2010 European champions Polgar and Coy had an outstanding performance compared to their bad start in the first day's races. A bit of a disappointment for sailing legend Paul Gaillard and his crew Austin Sperry, who started well with a 4th in race 5 but just couldn't hold their pace in the pack and followed up with a 15th and 18th to end the day in 17th overall. They will have their work cut out to make it up into the top 10.
Yeah, all we can do is go out and try to have a couple top 3 finishes, and maybe, it's not a matter of trying to beat some one boat, I'm sure. It's a matter of getting the fewest points possible.
All the teams have the ability and depth of skill to claim a spot in the top, and this is clearly evident with 5 different teams claiming the wins from the 7 races held so far. By the end of the second day, it was Brazil's Scheid and Prada staying firm at the top of the leaderboard, carrying a 14-point advantage over Italy's Negri and Lambertenghi in second. But their points lead would count for nothing come the finals, as the scoreboard would be swept clean for the knockout races. Day 3 was the crunch day of qualifications at the Star Sailors League, with just 2 races deciding the top 10 teams advancing to the finals. A crucial day to get everything right around the clear blue water track here in the Bahamas, with intense battles inevitable and leaderboard opportunities still wide open. The battle was on for the last few slots, and it was one of the best helmsmen in Miami, Augie Diaz, with crew von Schwartz, who stepped through in 9th, with Denmark's Hasbach and Olsen in 10th. Posting a 6th and 2nd place finishes was just enough to advance the pair through to the finals in 10th place, with a 5-point margin over the next team.
We sailed well today. We had better downwind speed, especially in the last race. We changed some things, tried to sail a bit more aggressive, a bit more fin dinky style. It seems to work. But there's a fine balance, because if it gets too light, you can't be too aggressive because you got the whole sail flocking, but we just had enough wind for that technique.
The well-known USA team of Diaz and von Schwartz found themselves in a tight spot going into the day, positioned in 9th overall and with many other teams flirting with their place on the leaderboard. They had to be careful and ensure consistent results inside the top 10 to guarantee a place in the finals. Intensely competitive, the USA pair delivered exactly what was asked, 9th and 10th place finishes to hold on to their 9th on the leaderboard and have every opportunity during the last day to make a punt for the title. Smiles for some, disappointment for others who came close but just couldn't make it through to the top 10 who advanced the Star Sailors League final. The young Kiwi laser talent, Andy Maloney, with Canadian crew Tyler Bjorn, hadn't ever sailed in the Star before and came here as a rank outsider. The pair had started their assault well and were up inside the top 10, but a 15th place in the second race tumbled them out of contention to end their campaign only 5 points off 10th place. Great Britain's Ed Wright, who has finished on the podium at the last 4 Finn Gold Cups, racing with Norway's Peter Pedersen, looked as though they may make the cut, but a 12th in the final qualification race also shattered their chances. Scheid and Prada won both races today to hold firm at the top of the leaderboard and have easily proven their form. In second are Mendelblatt and Fati, and third are Negri and Lambertenghi. But the results will not count. It is all about coping with the pressure and delivering the results tomorrow. The scoreboard started afresh as the top 10 sailors advanced to the finals of the last day with a 3-race format. Race 1 would advance the top 7 to Race 2, which would decide the top 4 who go forwards to a winner-takes-all final race. Great racing conditions on day 4 as yet again the wind in the Bahamas delivered for the gripping final day. You could feel the pressure as without any delay the first knockout race started. Norway's Melleby with American crew Stube started the race perfectly, rounding in the top 3 boats, but could not keep up with the pressure and unfortunately were one of the 3 boats to be knocked out after race 1. Dropping out as well were the Danish pair of Hesbach and Olsen, who managed to qualify to the top 10 marginally the previous day, but their luck ran out early on as they missed the top 7 cut by 1 place, finishing in 8th. On to the semi-finals, which would decide the next 3 teams to go home. Unfortunately, with such an abundance of top sailing names competing, naturally they cannot all make the finals. This time it was the turn of French duo Rohat and Ponson, who had raced an exceptional week so far. But in knockout races you have to be focused all the time, and mistakes are costly. And despite winning the first race, this time they found themselves back in 6th place and knocked out of the game. Just ahead of them in 5th were the German Olympians Polgar and Coy, whose hopes for a podium place flew away as the top 4 boats established a safe lead and there was just no chance of catching up. Their teammates Staniak and Klein were also knocked out, finishing in 7th place. The final do-or-die race saw 4 teams in the race-off, with Brazilians Scheid and Prada, Americans Mendelblatt and Fati, Italians Negri and Lambertenghi, and the Polish Kuźnierowicz and Zitsky facing each other. The Brazilian pair put in a clean race and secured a clear lead from start to finish. They chose the favoured left side of the track from the start and led the 4-boat race by the windward mark. A bit of pressure from the Polish had the Brazilians on notice of the competition behind in the first downwind leg, but they swiftly extended their lead and it was an easy deal for them after the second upwind. Scheid, who only 1 week before the Star Sailors League secured his 9th Laser World Championship title, sailed exceptionally throughout the week, and he and crew Prada totally earned their victory. Both were clearly delighted with the outcome, and a massive celebration for this pair, who in 2012 and 2011 were crowned Star Class World Champions. A 2nd place finish in the final race earned the Polish pair a 2nd place. Up until finals day, Kuźnierowicz and Zitsky had delivered a midline performance, but today performed when it was most needed to post a 6-4-2 scoreline. Behind the leading 2, the battle was on for 3rd place at the Star Sailors League. The Americans Mendelblatt and Fati were neck and neck with the Italians Negri and Lambertenghi round much of the track, with Negri and Lambertenghi gaining the advantage by the first windward mark. But Mendelblatt and Fati struck back in the second upwind and, having overtaken, then sailed round the rest of the track to safely cross the finish line in 3rd, leaving the Italians in 4th. Massive smiles and pride from the top 3 teams who were up on the podium immediately after racing to receive their medals for the inaugural Star Sailors League from no less than sailing legend Dennis Conner himself. Champagne spraying and the traditional dip in the pool were all part of the victory celebrations at this unique event, which has hosted many of the best sailors in the world.
With this format, the winner takes all the last race, so we had a great week, but we still needed to win the last race, which is extremely hard. And the Poles did a great job. They had a good speed today and they managed to pass us on the first downwind. We got them again at the very end of the downwind, got overlapped at the mark, and then from then on we could control the race.
Star Sailors League victory to Brazil's Scheid and Prada, 2nd to Poland's Kuźnierowicz and Zitsky, and a 3rd place to the USA's Mendelblatt and Fati. A great event that could not have had a better finish. Until next time, thanks for watching.